Is lupus potentially misdiagnosed Lyme disease? Let's talk about it. Not even lupus, all these autoimmune disorders, all these, and there's a lot of talk about Lyme disease right now. The testing's faulty, the treatments are faulty, the approach, everything about what we think we know, even the medical literature about Lyme disease is wrong, old, and outdated. We're being told that it's just passed by ticks, and that's just absolutely not true. I believe that Lyme disease and the co-infections are being spread, passed, and transmitted in way more ways than we even possibly are aware of right now. It's being passed in utero. It's being passed by cats who are carrying Babesia and Bartonella. Let's not be too particular, okay? Because there's I'm still, even as someone diving into this and who's dealt with it, not understanding the alpha-gal and the Babesia, the Bartonella, all these crazy things. Like, it's all Lyme, but let's just call it what it is. It's just effing Lyme disease, man. Let's just I feel like everyone has been overcomplicating Lyme disease because it's just exploding right now. And why? It's not like people are just outside getting bit by ticks, and then there's people getting bit by ticks who never get Lyme disease. So, I mean, it's carried by fleas, mosquitoes, ticks. It's being passed sexually, and no one wants to talk about this. Personally, if you ask me, Selena Gomez does not have lupus. She has misdiagnosed Lyme disease. Her ex, Justin Bieber, has Lyme disease. And in my personal experience, it wasn't until I was sexually intimate with a partner I dated for 2 years. He had every clinical sign of Lyme disease, and then boom, it hit me. And then when I moved in a water damage building, which equals mold, it just set everything off. And Lyme disease can present psychiatric. Selena Gomez, it's claimed that she's, bipolar, and she's got to take these, one second, guys, these psychiatric drugs. It's the way it affects the whole body, the brain, the nervous system. Like, by the way, you guys, I had bought some mics. I was so excited to use them. And then I realized that these are for the old iPhones. I got the new iPhone, baby, with the C port. And this has an old port. Anyways, I was excited because I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk in my little mic today. Scratch that. I got new ones on the way. Amazon, they'll be here tonight or tomorrow. Either way, hopefully for tomorrow's video, I'll be mic'd up, so the audio will be much more clear and clean and crisp. So I just want to dive into this. Let's talk about it. I truly am wondering, because Lyme disease is like the most misdiagnosed disease right now, and not just America, the world. And I want to understand, like, why is there this epidemic of Lyme disease all of a sudden? You think it's because people are just outside getting bit by ticks? I don't believe so. Whatever happened during COVID, did they put it in the vaccines during COVID? Did they mix the synthetic COVID pandemic they sent out, like, with all sorts of other shit? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just trying to have open conversations of awareness that is it being passed by saliva? Is it being passed sexually? Is it being and how many other ways? And then there's all these new forms of Lyme disease. It's just, where the fuck are these new diseases coming from? I just want to know. And I'm going to make this kind of a short video for today. I, at one point, before God really shifted things in my life and put me in this space full time, I was running a beauty business, mobile lashes, and I was servicing so many clients. And, you kind of turn into a therapist, when I'm working on these women, on these clients. And a lot of them would open up to me, and I had no idea because they seemed just fine. But so many of them were opening up to me about these autoimmune disorders, these health issues. And every time these women spoke up, it sounded like Lyme disease, because it was literally what I was going through. So I'm like, how many people are silently actually suffering and not saying anything, and no one's speaking up? And then we have this epidemic of Lyme disease, just so bad right now. It finally, our government's recognizing it. It's finally getting funded. And You know, I just wondering if a lot of these misdiagnoses are Lyme disease, because for the longest time, its existence was like dismissed. Lyme disease ain't real. Like there's literally states trained to like, shh, no, that's not a real thing. You're crazy. Let's go get you tested for some psychiatric drugs. Yeah. I want to talk about it. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and in the comments. Please keep it respectful. If you're not gonna be respectful or you're gonna turn into a Karen, I'll just block you, you know? So let's be respectful, guys. Everyone can have their own opinions, but you know, I just simply put want to make this video like just, it's not even a question. Like I fully, wholeheartedly believe, because even for me, I want to make this point. At one point along my journey, before I was properly tested with the right testing, because at one point I was tested on a blood test for Lyme disease. It came back negative. It was a false negative. It wasn't until I found a different doctor, a functional medicine doctor, who did a urine analysis on me. They tested for the actual DNA of Lyme disease and all the co-infections, and everything lit up. And prior to that, I was being misdiagnosed with multiple sclerosis, with POTS, autonomic dysfunction, even lupus. They were even considering it was some type of rare autoimmune disease. They were even thinking it was lupus. And I'm just like, how often is Lyme disease? Because most people, it's taking them like 10, 20 years sometimes, even get a proper diagnosis, because the medical infrastructure is just not well equipped. And it just fucking pure ignorance, if you ask me. And what has transpired, it's the greatest travesty in American, like, human history ever. We're so great, but so sick. And excuse me for simplifying what everyone else out here is overcomplicated. This gene, this detox, this supplement, this protocol, never-ending rabbit holes of fear-mongering, confusion, more frustration, more burnout, more dead ends. Can I just say, let's get back to the fucking root of how God designed our bodies to heal itself through fasting? How do we get inside the cells? What type of drugs do we come up with to get inside the cells? Oh God, I'm a doctor. I have a badge and a fucking lab coat and I can't figure it out. I don't know, fast. Maybe the way God designed the body, because when you fast, you go into a state of autophagy and clean up the body and the cells at an intercellular level, that there's no amount of money, no amount of treatments, no amount of detoxing or protocols you could do outside of yourself that's more powerful than fasting. But yet we got all these bright idea geniuses in the white lab coats and their shiny badges with their certifications and their licenses, and they still can't figure this shit out. You're fired. You're fired. You should be fired. It's criminal. Like, why is everyone overcomplicating this? Can we just get back to the root? And I'm speaking even to believers. If you call yourself a Christian, you call yourself believing in God, but yet you're believing the lies of the devil, didn't God not tell us? Through the faith of a mustard seed. And in Jesus came, he was healing people. The woman with the blood, we all know this story. There was a woman in the Bible who bled for like 10 to 12 years. Went broke, seeing every practitioner, and she's like, if I could just touch the robe of Jesus, I'll be healed. And what does he do? He's in a crowd. He's like, who touched me? And everyone's like, well, we're in a crowd. Everyone touched you, sir. He looks back at the woman and he's like, get up, you've been healed. And he's trying to let her understand that we are not separate from tapping into this collective Christ consciousness of this infinite source, which is God. Jesus was letting us all know, you are not separate. You healed yourself. He tells the woman, no, it was your faith that healed you. Just faith alone. We've heard how many times how powerful the mind is. The power of your mind. But we've been having spells spoke over us of suggestions, of dangerous suggestions and lies since birth. The devil is a lie. And Jesus came to remind us of our own power. It wasn't just through Jesus. Jesus was letting us know. He was like the master teacher. Hey, you're not separate from this. Even when he was on the boat walking on water, I think he asked, was it Peter to come join him, or Paul, one of his disciples. And for a moment, they were walking on water too. It wasn't just Jesus was the master teacher that came to remind us of the truth. The sleeping masses who've been so conditioned by their outside world, instead of being reminded of the truth. And how many times were we told to walk by faith and not by sight? And all this ties into healing, to that there's nothing incurable, getting back to our roots of the truth. The truth is you're not stuck sick. You're not incurable. You're not stuck. You're not hopeless. You're not, I feel like I'm here to speak the truth back, to wake people back up, to remind them of the truth of their power. There is a cure inside of all of us. I want to see, I've got Joe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo. I have a bookshelf next to me. I think it's in my other room. But I mean, this man, Joe Dispenza, even look at his journey, his story. He got hit by a truck. He was super athletic, fit, doing all sorts of activities, triathlons, I believe, stuff like that. And he got hit by a truck, shattered like 6 or 9 of his vertebrae. He turned on every surgery. He took no medications from my understanding, and literally with the power of his mind, in 8 to 12 weeks or something, he literally reconstructed his spine, his vertebrae. The man can walk, he's not on crutches, he's not limited, but it was the power of his mind, of belief, of faith. That is, it's all correlating. What I'm trying to share here, the message I'm trying to convey. God, please give me the words to say this, to get it out the way that you need me to relay this message. We are so out of touch with our root, with our core, with our center, and we're searching everywhere outside of us for all external, instead of going inward and going to source, to God, our creator, the infinite consciousness that has your heart beating right now without thinking about it, your blood pumping right now, your lungs breathing without you even thinking about it. That's birth life all around us, abundant life. God is a creator. He said, be fruitful, multiply. And this glorious God of these having pearl gates that are extravagant. God didn't call you to be sick. God didn't call you to be poor. God called you to prosper, to heal, to know the truth that you are not separate from God. We are co-creators. If God created us in the image, God is a massive, abundant, fantastic, marvelous, darling, just fantastic creator, abundant creator. If we're created in God's image, we are co-creators with God. And I'm reminding you to tap into that space, tap into that faith. I'm not even saying to have faith in God. Have faith in what you believe in is possible. The possibilities. How many times we hear about nothing's impossible? There's miracles, and wake up, people. Please remember who you are. The devil is a lie. And I don't know how we got all the way here from lupus, but I'm just rolling with it. And I think just point blank, the matter is that I set out on a journey after dealing with Lyme, co-infections, mold, long COVID, and 18 other running medical conditions that became life-threatening to me. It was so bad. I had lost all hope. I was looking into assisted end-stage life opportunities. I gotta be careful, I think, on some of these platforms so I don't get flagged. You catch my drift. That is legal in some states due to certain, intolerable medical conditions or whatever it might be. And I just had a knowing I'd be cured. I had a knowing I'd find the cure, and God made a way out of impossible circumstances. And I said, God, if you show me the way, make a way for me. When there is no way, I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to helping people. And I've had this massive shift in my life recently where I've went into this full time, and I just feel like I'm here supposed to be helping people, healing people, waking people up, reminding people of the truth of their power. You're not stuck. You're not powerless. That literally the cure lies inside of all of us. You're not separate from it. And just tap in and believe. Stand up, get up, stand up. Don't lay there and take the lies that it's incurable, that there's no help. You're stuck like that. That's a fucking lie from the pit of hell, man. Get up, get up. I'm not just here like I'm special. So if I could do this when no other doctors, everyone said I was crazy, it was impossible, you can't cure it, you can't beat it. And I said, fuck that, and fuck you, sir. I'm going out on my merry way to do what I know God's called in my heart, my spirit, because I'm so convicted by it. What do you know? It worked. And I didn't invent it. It's literally how God designed the body. And shout out to God, to Michelle B. Slatter, her book that helped me find Dr. Filanov and her treacherous journey, heart-wrenching journey with Lyme disease. She was able to beat and cure it, finding Dr. Filanov, a Russian dry fast doctor. I'm talking about getting back to her roots. So it doesn't matter how many anxiety-ridden rabbit holes you go on, how many protocols, how many, this test, stop. It doesn't matter what it is. God has given us the ability and the power. How many times you heard the body heals itself? Doesn't matter what the tests say. What does your faith say? Do you believe? Or are you going to believe the lies? That's a lie straight from the pit of hell that it's incurable. It's a lie straight from the pit of hell that you'll never recover. You'll never be restored greater than before. It's a lie that you won't get your health back. It's a lie. They're going to manage sufferable symptoms the rest of your life. That is a lie. Especially if you call yourself a believer and you have no faith, and you're putting your faith in doctors who are just as ignorant, trained by a broken system, even if they mean well and they're good people. Who do you have your faith in? The medication, but not God? Medication's never going to cure you, but you got a God, tap into source right here that you're ignoring? How insulting to God. Your source, your creator, but you're searching everywhere external outside of you except for the source. I don't know who this message is for. I'm going to wrap this up, but I hope that this message makes sense to somebody out there. And I believe that there's so many misdiagnosed disease right now. And do you know that in America, I believe it's one of the the third most, I'm going to try to say this. The third cause of death, 1, 2, 3, the third most common cause of death in America is American doctors. You don't believe me? Go fact check. My faith and hope is not in doctors. My faith and hope is not anything external from me. It's all right here with God, with source, consciousness, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it, whatever you identify with it as. And if you don't believe in any of that, you can just have faith in believing the impossible. How many times are we told, walk by faith, not by sight? How many of you are actually walking by faith? I don't see many people walking in faith anymore. They just go to church and that's it. And they leave the rest of their circumstances external to themselves and let that control them. Instead of being in control here, mind, body, and soul. So I just feel like I'm here to remind people of your power that God has given us. The power of the tongue. Are you speaking life or are you speaking death? Have you given up or do you have high expectations and hope even when it gets hard? We have free will. Are you believing in the truth and acting in faith accordingly, or are you believing the lies and succumb to it? Just, oh yeah, never gonna get better. Doctor said I got 3 months to live. What did God say? You forgot about that? What did God say? especially if you're a believer and you're in your word and you're not activating faith. Come on, man. No one's mad at you. No one's upset. God's disappointed, it's hurt. And I don't care if you let anyone down in the world. Don't let God down. I just feel like people need to wake up. They're sleeping. Wake up. Wake up and remember your power. Remember the truth. The word. This is all an illusion. And because these flashbacks, when we leave these things, if you have this, we're in like a simulation, like a video game sim. This is all like an illusion. Even Jesus said, don't fear. Because this life ain't all it. It's just a moment, a passing by, whatever effing reason. Don't forget your power. Please, I just want people to wake up and have faith, believe in themselves, get their zeal, their zest back for life. That's where the magic's at. And hope, and expectation, and faith, believing for more than what the icons, what other people say outside of. Do you know how many people I've had out here laughing, mocking, talking, blah, blah. Okay, we ain't gonna be laughing when you see God working in me, on me, and through me, and what God's using me for. It's not funny anymore, is it? It's gonna be helping a lot of the same people who mocked me, who laughed at me. And I know you've had plenty of experiences just the same. I'm just like you. I'm not special. I just tapped into that innate truth and knowing from God's source, creator, universe. I believed God would make a way. I believed that I'd be healed. I believed that I'd be cured. And God made a way out of no way. And I literally, in the time, didn't even know what God was doing. And I said, God, strengthen my faith. Well, I'm going through the worst of it, you guys. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had no idea. Now on the other side, I'm like, oh, I can see what God was doing, because I literally prayed for God to strengthen my faith. And now we full on, baby. I'm like, okay, I trust you. I'm going to put my shoes off. Where are we going now, Sky Daddy? You know, just you got to have faith, man. Believe in yourself again. Believe in something again, something good. Use it all day to believe in bad, to believe in lies, things that aren't true. What's a little shift going to hurt? Just believe in the good stuff? Do you want to sit in trauma, pain, anguish? That's all low vibrational. It's from the devil, man. Just saying. So I'm going to rippity-rappity this up. This is Beating Lyme with Lativa. My books are open if you'd like to work with me one-on-one. I am offering virtual consultations to anyone around the world. So the link is in the description. And even the first comment, you can click that link. Very simple. I've got two options. Well, you can, normally first timers, if you're dealing with serious medical conditions or